can't get respect unless they demand respect. Many years you played victim, crying tears all through the night, claiming no man give me nothing, I could give me what's right. But no man beg freedom and live to sing freedom song. A man for working hard out daily, or he will die in Babylon. Oh, we need a little, got to work together. No more compromise. Oh, no matter what they say, we need some. We got to work together, or our seed will cry. Oh, yeah. When they seem like they try to bring you down, as if it's true or in your mind. No man can take away your power. It's up to you to recognize. You got to shine together if you want to prosper in your life. Yeah, it's time to shake them demons that are my protects inside. Oh, we need a little. We got to work together. No more compromise. No matter, no matter, no matter what they say, we need some. We got to work together. Or our seeds will cry. Oh, oh, yeah.
Peace and love, fam. Welcome to the PPC podcast. I'm Brother Frank, and I'm with my brother and former political prisoner,
Abdul Haq Islam.
Today we start off the show by offering our sincere condolences to the family of Mumia Abu Jamal, as his wife, who been one of his strongest supporters, from at least from my understanding, in his situation, had just made her transition. So we just want to recognize what their family is going through and send our condolences, and tell the family to be strong, and we'll continue to keep the family in our thoughts and our prayers, in all our actions. Let us continue to fight to bring our brother home. Today's episode, we focus on the next principle of the week, which is Ujima. It's collective work and responsibility. And what does that mean as it relates to the political? Right, our political prisoners deserve to come home. We got to organize to bring them home. This is an opportunity where we reignite with our African culture, and we understand the power and importance of it. Um, how we do that? There's some methods and tactics. Today, there is a writing campaign going on, and I'm going to give you the link right now.
Yeah, so all of y'all write to Kamal Siddiqui. He's going through it, and I remember when I was in prison, the favorite time of the day was letter time. It's passing out mail. It's always a beautiful thing to receive words from people on the street. People on lockdown, they really enjoy receiving mail, and also visiting hours. Beautiful thing on the inside. Kamal is going through serious medical problems right now with his leg, you know, and he had a valiant struggle to save his leg because them folks on the inside wanted to amputate, but he got his own doctor, and so that is not necessary. So we need you to support the brother, to bring the brother on home. There's a letter writing campaign for Brother Kamal Siddiqui, you know, and again, to reiterate what Brother Frank said, much condolences to Mumia Abu Jamal on the loss of his wife. This is an outrage, They know this brother is innocent, and still not release him. He could not be there at the end, as his wife, her final hours, her final days, he could not be there, you understand, because of an evil system that claims it's about justice. If this system was about justice, they would have freed Mumia Abu Jamal a long time ago. You would have to raise all kind of hell to save his life. They would have released him if they was truly about justice. They like to claim that they are about justice, uh, and it's situations like this which bring to a flash the true nature of the system, and it tells us why we must come together and work together, collective work and responsibility. The song that Brother Frank was playing before we came on the air, it talked about working together. It talked about shaking the demons, uh, the communication, the relationship we have with this enemy has put some things in our psychic and in our culture that we really got to get rid of. We got to come together and work together collectively, collective work and responsibility. Um, collective work and responsibility, Ujima, is an African principle. It is very, very African for us to come together. In the history of our people engaged in collective work and responsibility. With collective work and responsibility, it makes things seem easier. If you are facing a big enemy that wants to shock and awe you, you might feel that you're overwhelmed, but when you realize that you have a good percentage of 40 million black people working with you, it makes everything seem much, much easier. You're not by yourself, So this is a principle that we are pumping today. We're in Kwanzaa. I just want to mention briefly that we just had a powerful program yesterday for Kuji Shakalia, self-determination. The topic today is Ujima. I just want to mention briefly the program we had yesterday at Sister's Place. It gave the history of another freedom fighter, Sonny Carson, and the struggle that was waged collectively, you understand, to shut down some South Korean merchants who was disrespecting and manhandling black women, physically abusing black women. And so the family, the new African family came together and said, no, y'all got to go, in our neighborhood, getting rich off of us. And so the people collectively said that, no, we're going to take over and supply our folks with the commodities they need, So collectively, we were able, through the masses of people saying this is what's got to happen, you understand, and the outrage, you understand, that created that energy for the masses to come together to create a movement, you understand. By that, we created the African People's Farmers Market, and that's an example of self-determination, And like I say, that was yesterday. So today we're going into Ujima, and again we're talking about the powerful force of the masses. You ain't got to feel overwhelmed. You ain't got to feel outnumbered. You understand?
Absolutely.
When
Absolutely.
bunches of us come together for a purpose and make things happen and create a movement.
Absolutely. At this time, we're going to welcome our guest, former political prisoner, Tariq.
Right on, Tyreek.
Yes, brother. Go ahead. This is Tyreek
It's
right
Hey,
good,
here.
it's good brother here.
yes,
Go ahead,
welcome,
Tyreek.
welcome. I'm
Go ahead,
glad that
brother.
you are able to attend the show today. Former political prisoner Tariq.
Strong man.
What does it mean during this time as we recognize Ujima, collective work and responsibility? How does that relate to the work to free our political prisoners, brother?
Well, as y'all was pointing out, we got to work together. We got to once we work together, all things are possible. So in terms of
Right.
dealing with the political prisoner thing, once people in different areas work together and let it be known that our brother is not alone or our sister who's a political prisoner is not alone, that will make a difference. So that collective work and responsibility is a thing that we have to practice, in order to survive. We don't want to try to take on all these responsibilities by ourselves. So that's a very good idea, brother. Very good concept. So I see brother Kamal Siddiqui. They're going to have a Zoom thing for him today. They're going to have a letter writing campaign for him also today. So once I leave here, I'm going to go to Harlem and be a part of a letter writing campaign for Kamal Siddiqui. He's a good brother. He's a revolutionary. And as you know, all revolutionaries are saviors. They put their life on the line to save Black people. So he deserved for us to do that. And we need collective work and responsibility in terms of helping out brother Kamal Siddiqui. Yeah.
That's beautiful work, brother.
Yes,
Yes,
while
sir.
you were
Beautiful work.
away because of your political views, what did it mean when you received a letter from someone?
Well, it was a very good thing, to receive a letter because it let it be known that the community was in agreement in terms of how we proceeded to deal with the issues that we was dealing with, and it let it be known that there were other revolutionaries alive and well, and who had taken up the baton and was running with it. So that was a very good thing, very inspiring situation.
Yes, I feel like when I started to write political prisoner, because I remember writing Matulu, I remember writing Dave Gilbert, writing Jalil Abdul Muta King, and I remember building a relationship with these political prisoners. It became something that now these political prisoners were family, and I had to think about their well-beings. I had to it increased my passion to do this work. So that think that that's one of the things that writing these letters does. It allows you to understand that our political prisoners are real. They have feelings, they have concerns, and they have not only about themselves or their immediate family, but their nation, political family, which is just as important. I think that that's what we need to understand. Imagine a sacrifice for a cause and somebody ignores or forgets about you. That can be mentally traumatizing. So
Yeah,
I
man.
think that we have to do our role. And when we recognize our freedom fighters, we recognize that to be saluted. They need attention because what does that do to them psychologically? You know what I'm saying, my brother?
That's right. That's right. That's very good, brother. It's very good that people would write in, and as you say, that makes them a part of your family. So, and you be doing the time right with them. And so that's very helpful too for them to know that people doing the time right with you. You're not alone in doing that time. So that's a very good feeling. Very inspiring, brother. Yeah.
And I realized that just because a political prisoner is not in society or moving around the way you were moving around, it's not that they still don't have those ideas that are relevant to your everyday life. And so they can give you some sound advice based on their experience, based on their ability to have a reduction in distractions, because we live in a world where there's a serious amount of distractions, and political prisoner uh, is restricted in terms of how they interact with these distractions. So they're even more focused and disciplined than we are. So when they get an answer, it's an answer that they spent time researching, and it's coming from a place of intense focus. So I think
That's
that we should utilize our brothers, our elders that have this clear understanding about the world that we live in.
that's very good, Frank, because to be a political prisoner really is after after a political prisoner has done a considerable amount of studying, that's when they get involved in the struggle. And then once they've done a considerable more amount of studying, that's when they become a freedom, a freedom fighter in the physical sense. And so while they are in, they continue that they already advanced, but they continue that studying of the situation, and they are able to bring that to bear in their discussions with people who are just getting involved in the struggle. So that's very good, brother. Yes.
Brother, you did 17 years of studying yourself as a political prisoner. We want to emphasize that the brother we have as a guest on today, Brother Tyree, was a political prisoner, a prisoner of war, and he did 17 years of studying. Now he's out in the street, you understand, giving Uncle Sam the blues, right?
That's right, brother. When I did that 17, there were times when I used to read 250 pages a day. Every day I would throw a book in the corner. I would have
Uh-huh.
knocked out a book studying the different subjects that we had to study in order to be aware of what we was dealing with, totally aware of what we were dealing with. And so I did a considerable amount of studying, brother. So to bring and once I did that study, and I was able to bring my findings to a discussion with someone who was out on the outside. So that was a very good thing. I used my time wisely, and certainly all political prisoners use their time wisely. They do a considerable amount of studying, and they're able to bring their findings to discussions that they have, and that's a very good thing, brother.
Yeah. Did y'all have study groups on the
Oh yeah,
inside?
yeah. We had study groups, um, and we studied different things. Like we studied history, world history, and we studied English also because we come off professorial when we after having done a considerable amount of studying, but we study English, and that make it even more professorial when we come off. So we study other things, psychology, English, and
Yeah.
political
Oh, we all
science,
did that when we was inside.
political
Yeah.
science,
Political
law,
science, psychology.
huh?
Yeah.
Political science, law, everything.
Yeah, that was
And we
a
would
favorite among the that was
and we
a
would
great
have
field of
we
study.
would
Yeah.
have this we would have our discussion groups, So that was very good. We had our discussion groups,
Yeah.
and people who had money would buy books for everybody and that sort of thing. Yeah, that was very
Wow.
good. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that was a very good thing. We had
So
our
now you out
discussion
here
group.
practice.
Huh? I'm sorry.
So now you out to put it all to practice.
That's right, brother. Yeah, that's right. Bring it on home to the
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, no, he said that now you put it all to practice
That's
because
right.
you learn certain things now. You're able to educate the masses and continue to struggle to advance our people.
That's right.
So we salute your continuous work because
That's,
you didn't become afraid because of your incarceration, but it seemed like you got stronger and even more committed.
oh yeah, yeah. I got stronger,
So
more
so we
committed
thank you.
because once you in there dealing with the beast, man, they are clear. Once they get you behind there, nobody looking.
Mhm.
Like I tell people, you see one of them
Yeah.
in a suit and tie, that's just their disguise. Because once they get you alone, they'll let you know what they think about black people, and so that was strengthen your determination to end this, so that the next generation won't
Yeah.
have to be
subjected to what you were being subjected to at that moment, you know. So that's right. And so once
Yeah.
I went through that experience, I brought that experience back with me, and that experience made me more determined to carry on so that our people, another generation, won't have to go through it. That's why, you know, whatever the price we have to pay, I'll pay that price, you know, because I don't want none of our next generation, no one going through what we've been subjected to, you know.
Yes, I
So
mean, wow, yeah, that says a lot about you and our political prisoners, and we
that's right.
appreciate that. And I think that it's not enough for us to say thank you. We have to be committed to something. We have to get down with the organization. We have to write a political prisoner. We have to do the work to free our political prisoner because we have to separate respect from for idea and respect for a practice, right? And make that concrete, make that real, and be authentic with it by actually putting some work in. Because too many people have will use the term respect, but there's no work going behind it. And what do you have to say to people who are really respect people? What do you think they should be doing if you really respect somebody?
Well, if you respect somebody, I think that you should be involved in the struggle, you know, struggling to end this, end what the people are being subjected to, you know, because we are being subjected to some very real things, and our people are being killed in various ways. We're dealing with the women, with the pregnancy situation, the birth situation. A lot of women are dying, a lot of babies are dying because of neglect on the part of the doctors and stuff like that. But we got to stop that, and showing respect for a political prisoner is part of addressing those matters. You know, the housing situation. We have our people dying from asthma. You know, like it was recently pointed out that this discussion was revisited about them making the highway through the Bronx and how all these cars are going through there, and the exhaust gases is killing our children who got asthma, you know. So this is what the political prisoner was fighting to address, that so that we could address our housing situation and not be have to deal with situations like that. Our houses are located in the exhaust pipes of the cars on trucks on the highway. You know, this is what political prisoners was trying to address. So when you show respect to a political prisoner, you addressing all of that. So that's the tip of the iceberg, you know.
I mean, so,
Go ahead, brother. You had to ask him something.
yeah, you know, we're talking about collective work and responsibility. We got a whole lot of work to do, brother. You know, in terms of, you know, now these are the fields of endeavor that lockdown are studying right now. So I had a question. How do we apply responsibility to self-defense? You know, the Proud Boys are organizing to kill all black people. You know, how do we apply, you know, to like the self-defense? Uh, Also, collective work and responsibility for us to stop killing one another. You know, just the killing. You know, how do we apply collective work responsibility in areas like this, and in education, economics, and politics? You know, so how do we you know,
Okay,
work together? You understand, to solve these problems.
right. I know our people are killing each other at a phenomenal rate, and so I just want to tell our people who are out there, and most of them are younger than me. I'm 74, so those people out there soldiering, they 20s and 30s. So I'm like their parent, and so I just want to tell them, I'm very sorry for yelling at you. I'm very sorry for calling you stupid. I'm very sorry for calling you nasty and dirty, you know. And so those things got our people walking around constantly upset from having been disrespected like that. So as a parent, I'm saying I'm sorry for having done that, and I was wrong, and I was wrong. I was pursuing that way of raising them that way, the wrong way, because I was taught wrong. I was living in this society, and this society was telling me that that's the right way to be on top of my son or my daughter, and telling them, you got to do this, you got to do that, and really they didn't have to do anything. I'm as a parent, I'm the one who had to just love them and let them develop as they develop, and without me making them doing anything. So I just want to tell our people out there walking around strapped down, a little upset, and as soon as somebody look at them, yo, what's up, man? And they got their hand on the trigger. So I'm just saying, I'm sorry for yelling at you. I'm sorry for calling you nasty and dirty. I'm sorry for waking you up. I'm sorry for telling you everything you did. And I'm sorry for telling you everything you was doing was wrong. And so that will contribute to lessening the tension out there, to let our people know that we pursued raising them wrong because we was taught wrong. And this is the way wrong is taught all over the world. And so us revolutionaries are trying to introduce a new way of raising our children, so that, and that's the correct way, is just love them. And when they want to make their bed, let them make their bed. But other than that, don't be stressing them about that, killing them about about them not making the bed, or killing them about not wiping no crumbs off the table. Because when you stressing them, you killing them. So I'm sorry for having done that to you. And so that's the way to lessen the tension out there. When I see them, I tell them I'm sorry for having done that, and I love you. And I was taught wrong. That's why I done wrong. But now I know better. I'm able to do better. So that'll go a long ways in terms of work and responsibility and what has to be done. So that's a very good thing to do. So I love our children, and I unconditionally love them. They don't have to do anything. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a very important point that you made. Accountability. I think that we all have to be accountable for the mistakes that we made, and we have. And
Yes,
it
sir.
starts with admitting that you made a mistake, having those
That's right.
conversations, and listening to our youth and hearing what they're talking about, and dealing with
That's
them in
right.
a respectful manner. I think once we
Right.
start to do that, once we start listening to them, then we give them value. And once we start understanding that they recognize their value, then we on a different level in terms of communication. Now we can say
Right.
that, see, the way you value yourself at this point is the way that I value you. And that's why I'm going to be out there fighting this oppressive system and making sure that the conditions are right for you. And you're supposed to do the next, you're supposed to take over at some point, and you're supposed to do that for the next generation. I think that once we start understanding that, then we will start building a better world for ourselves and for the next generation. And it has to come through dialogue, and it has to come through ideas that are going to be about us organizing. And I think that that's why when we have Kwanzaa coming and we celebrate in the African tradition, we celebrate in our harvest, we're actually celebrating from our work. What has our work produced? And now when we look at what we've been doing, and we look at the changes that's been going on, because there has been a amount of changes that are very significant to the state of Black people, the state of people of African descent, and we have to appreciate those victories we have, and the way we appreciate that is to continue to move.
I just want to make a point on that of information. Statistic wise, from 1993 to 2020, violent crime, murders and stuff was cut in half by the
Right.
efforts of Black people. And the frame was just speaking on the theme of letting our successes that we have had, us, self-determination, in the past have, brought down crime among ourselves,
And
violent
that's right.
crime among ourselves. So our people need to
And
know that. Now, during the past midterm election coming up, if somebody got slapped on the face, you understand, came a headline, you understand, because they was running for office, so they didn't let us know that after the Million Man March, that violent crime dropped drastically. Every
and
year we had summit meetings. You
and
understand?
and
Among gang meetings, and all these cause crime to come down. You understand? It's better to come back up in 2021. Okay, so what
and
are you about to say, my brother?
yeah, some figures just came out today that has dropped even more, and that's because of our work, and
Right
and
on, right
Kwanzaa,
on.
right, and Kwanzaa represent us doing things differently, dropping the old colonial ways and devising our new ways, and that's what I'm talking about. And that's the way we're going to save
Yep.
ourselves. We dropping all the colonial ways and adopting revolutionary ways, and that's the way to salvation of the race and salvation of the people. So this is very good. And as I say, the figures came out this morning. It said that the shootings are down, murders are down even more. So
Black
that's
power.
what's up. Black power,
Black power.
black
Another
power, brother.
question, brother. As you know, these lunatics, these psychopaths, these white supremacists are
That's right.
buying guns at a unprecedented level right now. They're
Hmm.
organizing to kill all black people. So what would you have to say, a strong brother like you, black man like you, about our people having courage, you understand, having fortitude, you understand, to have that indomitable will, you understand, to live, you understand, and not be crushed to the ground. You understand? To stand up with steel in their backbones like real men and women. What'd you
That
say, on that topic to our folks?
Well, that's what we have to do. We have to meet guns with guns because at one point I had about 20 Ku Klux Klans approach me with that kill all nigger
My
stuff,
man.
and I stepped to them, and I became famous in the
Uh,
Marine Corps. I became famous in the Marine Corps because I'm the guy who chased 20 Ku Klux Klan with a knife. That's right. That's
straight
because
ahead, straight
once
ahead.
once
See, that's why we got you on the show.
once
Go
we
ahead,
stand
brother.
up, once we stand up to them, we will see, like Robert Williams saw when he stood up to them, that they'll break and run, you know,
Mhm.
and that's why they don't invade our communities like in Tulsa. They don't do that no more because once some brothers came back from World War I with them and knew how to shoot them rifles, boy, they stood up to them and fired back. Because once them Ku Klux Klan get return fire, brother, they'll break and run. So all we got to do
That's
is
right.
stand our ground. When they shoot back, and we'll stop that. So
So
that's the way.
experience,
That's
by
right.
experience, they the
That's right.
God that they want us to think they are.
Yes, that's right. We
That's
have a
right.
right to self determination. We have to continue to do this work. But, brother, we commit a half an hour every week. So our half an hour has come to an end. And we just want to say thank you for the time that you have spent with us. And we love you dearly. We're going to see you in the streets. If
Love you.
anybody needs to contact us, please contact us at 347-679-3936. Again, that's 347-679-3936. All right, my brother, you have closing
Lo-
remarks?
right. Love you, Frank. Love you, Abdul
Yep.
Haq. Y'all are good. Y'all doing a good
Black
service
power,
for the people. Black power, brother.
Yes, Black
Free
black
the
love,
Power.
land.
black love, black man.
Free the land. Free the land. Black love. That's right.
Free the land, free
That's
the
what's
land.
up. All right.
All right, my brother. Peace and love.
Thanks a
Peace and
lot,
love.
brother.
Yes, sir.
Peace and love.
Yes, brother. We got to close with some words
Mhm.
from Killer Mike.
Killer Mike.
You know,
I have to give the credit to this idea of Miss Kathy Hughes of Radio 1. She's like, Michael, it is time that you guys organize a fund to set aside to help people who sacrifice for our freedom. Meaning, every time something happens, I hear this. Why don't the gang bangers jump up and do something for us? Why don't you kill them? You kill each other. And I say to myself, when is the last time you sent money to Assata Shakur? When is the last time you sent money to Matulu Shakur? When is the last time you sent money to Mumia Abu-Jamal or Larry Hoover or Jeff Ford or Leonard Peltier? When is the last time you have made it your business to send money to a revolutionary or a hoodlum that has helped us? And until we start, how can we ask these young men to be warriors? Because if they do it in the name of the hood, at least the hood gonna honor their name always. At least the hood gonna make sure at least their children got something or their mama's house is looked after. As a community, if we're going to ask people to bungee jump for us with no cord, be prepared to take care of them when they get a life sentence. Be prepared to look after their families. See, I don't mind the work getting done, but let's take care of the workers. Let's stop asking more out of people than we would do for our people. My dream thing is to see 1 million people from the culture dedicate $10 a month. That's $10 million a month, $120 million a year toward taking care of civil rights leaders who have worked on our behalf and are elderly and don't have to take care of themselves, like Rosa Parks, whose rent was paid by the owner of Pizza. We should have had a fund to make sure that she never had to worry about that again in her life. We should have a fund that makes sure money makes it to Assata Shakur and Matulu Shakur has legal hesitation and food. And Leonard Peltier, who has diabetes in jail, can get insulin is taken care of. And until we start doing it, $10 a month is about what you pay on a couple fast food restaurant visits. So if 1 million of us do life, we'll be taking care of the people that we're asking to sacrifice on our behalf.
I agree. And recently